Okay. Good evening and welcome to the second week of WUL action here in somewhat sunny San Diego. It's been a cold and rainy day, but the sun is now out and we are about to get started with this exciting matchup between the hometown San Diego Super Bloom, who will be putting up the first poll from the left side of your screen in just a moment, to the visiting Colorado Alpenglow. I am Henry Argetsinger. With me is Neha Van Gankar. Neha, how's it going?
Hey Henry, it's great to be here. I'm really excited to be at the first home game for San Diego Super Bloom, facing off against a brand new opponent, Colorado Alpenglow. These two teams never faced each other off last season, so we're about to see a whole new rivalry form, hopefully, at the end of this game.
Yeah, very exciting. Colorado joined the league last season, so it's a new team in general, and they've had really great success to start. I know you were able to chat a bit with the coaches before the game. Did you get any insights into the game plan for either team?
Yeah, I did have a quick chat with Coach Alicia Stone and defensive coordinator Amy Schlabach. Both of them are really excited for this game and spoke to me about some adjustments they're going to make from the prior game that was at Seattle last week. They're really excited to focus a lot more on their team communication, making sure that, you know, they're assertive and being direct with each other. Additionally, from a defensive standpoint, Coach Amy was mentioning they really want to get the Colorado playmakers sort of out of commission. They would really like to shut those players down who tend to be the first, second looks, and make it much more challenging for Colorado to run their regular offense.
Sounds good. And I think both teams are throwing discs on the line. We missed the flip because we were a little late getting started. But, you know, this actually looks like it may be a Colorado D-line to me. One thing that's really interesting about both these teams is that they cross over a lot of players. They run very fluid lines, which I think is really cool to see at this level. I know club teams in both respective cities have been known for doing that in the past, to sort of flex over lots of players. Anyone can play O, anyone can play D. And so looking at both these lines, this looks like more of a San Diego O-line to me, but honestly, it's a little hard to tell, and that's exciting. So we'll let you know soon.
Yeah, one thing about the conditions today is, you know, you were mentioning earlier the weather is kind of turning sunny, but we had some pretty extreme weather, if you will, for San Diego earlier today, with some heavy rains all throughout the morning and into the afternoon with several flash flood warnings. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects the team, and, you know, the disc might be a little bit more slick than it looks to be, since it's pretty sunny.
Yeah, I'm sure both coaches were giving the classic speech about controlling what you can control, and the weather is not one of those things. So I'm sure both these teams they're both exceptionally well coached. I'm sure they're ready to go, and they know that in a game like this where it's windy and wet, there's just going to be a lot of chances for both sides.
Exactly.
And it looks like San Diego is pulling. So we are about to get underway. Kayla Helton with the first pull of the game. Received by Amy Halverson, coming over from LA to Colorado. To the middle of the field to Ito.
Beautiful layout grab by Ito.
Over to Sarah Levin. Up quickly to Kleinkopf. Starting downfield, she in the first game was primarily their center handler, and we see a turnover from her. And right back, Pajunas picked up quickly, but it does look like there's some kind of call. It looks like Helton is calling a foul. It's tapped back in, no contest. Helton up to Abrams. Ellis over to Pajunas on the near side, to Abby Schiltz. A near D by Thorpe, one of their star playmakers. But San Diego maintains possession. Another near D by Thorpe. And another one. You don't want to give her too many chances. And that is a great catch by Jessica Wan, right outside the end zone. And Alice to Houghton for the first break of the game. And that was some really great fast break offense by San Diego, and then slowing down when they got next to the goal line and punching it in.
Yeah, you really like to see the quick movements from San Diego, working it up the field really quickly after that turnover, and trusting the systems to just get the ball to where the open player is. Really works for a smooth offense for this team.
Yeah, I do think they gave Thorpe a lot of chances at a D there, and we have personally both played and coached against Thorpe for a number of years. We have seen her make those plays many times, so we're going to need to be a little careful about that, but dink and dunked it into the end zone, and let's see how Colorado responds. It looks like they're running out pretty much the same line. As I was saying in the last point, Kleinkopf, mostly their center handler, and she had started that point downfield, so we'll see what they look to run here. Looks like they're setting up in a vertical stack. To Thorpe in the middle of the field. And a big shot to Jade McLaughlin. And that is going to be open all day. Jade McLaughlin, recent club champion with Shame, one of the best players on the field. Got to keep track of her deep. So that was interesting there. I saw San Diego come down in kind of a sag look, trying to bracket that vertical stack and take away some spaces, but what did we see there? How did Colorado break through that?
Yeah, I think one thing that I've seen from Colorado is the positioning of their vertical stack is a little bit deeper than normal vert stacks that you'll see from a lot of the other teams. I think that gives a lot of room in the front of the stack for the ace to have an open pass that'll really shift the momentum of the offensive flow. And I think we saw that in this last point with just some quick movements from the Colorado offense.
Yeah, it was a really nice away shot from Emily Grimes as Rory Veldman gets ready to pull. Grimes, a new player for me, not very familiar with her, but she had a great game last week, so I think we'll see more of that.
Yeah, she's a rookie, and after talking to Colorado's coaching staff earlier today, they mentioned they're really excited about their rookies on the team, including Emily Grimes, as well as another handler, Ari Nelson.
We have Iwamoto to Helton on a nice flood play, an immediate jack deep to Dina Alamelik. That is what Dina Alamelik does, folks. We know it. We love to see it. Rory Veldman, one of the premier defenders in this league, and she just had no shot. Dina boxed her out, and then, just casual Dina things.
That's just picture perfect. You gotta just give applause when needed.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. Chrome has been doing that for years and years, making herself a household name with ridiculous layout after ridiculous layout. When you've lived in San Diego for a while, you just kind of come to expect it. I mean, I'll work on sounding more excited next time, but honestly, it's just, I knew she was going to catch that. That's what she does. So San Diego's up 2-1. That was a great, easy O point for San Diego. That's definitely what you'd want to see if you're Coach Alicia Stown. Just a designed flood play and then one shot deep. Very easy. So San Diego comes down for their second deep point. Got Yu Ishii making her season debut on the mark. An immediate deep shot up to, now we have McLaughlin. And overthrows Ito by just a bit there. That was beautiful looking offense and just missed on the last step. Deanna Abrams is picking up the disc on the end zone line to Kristen Pajunas on the far side. Centered back to Ava Hanna. To the near side with Avery Jones. Back to the middle. Kristen Pajunas with a beautiful layout grab to save possession. Floats one up. but Meredith Bile makes the catch. No, she just landed out of bounds. No contest. So disc over to Colorado. Hannah Mimic with the disc here. Up to Kleinkopf.
Colorado using the width of the field really well here.
Maddie Boyd back to Kleinkopf on the far side of the field.
A lot of good downfield defense from San Diego.
Very good defense. The momentum has really slowed here for Colorado. Kleinkopf with the disc. A great possession-saving grab there from Sarah Pesch. And just overthrown on the swing. Disc is back with San Diego. We apologize if there were some technical difficulties there. Hopefully you can hear us. A huge hawk from Ava Hanna. And a beautiful skying grab from Kristen Vendetta.
Push a lot on the deep looks this game. I feel like, you know, at Seattle we didn't see that much from them in terms of their deep game, but looks like they've been making some adjustments and really trying to push the length of the field these first couple of points.
Yeah, the stadium in Seattle, it's a beautiful venue. It's probably the best venue in the WL, but it is a weird wind thing. And both teams, the two best teams in the league over the last few seasons, really struggled to complete hucks. I believe San Diego was only 4 for 16, and the deep game on a turn is what San Diego's known for. So it's good to see those hucks connecting early. That is a great sign. And we're also seeing San Diego here really push the pace. Ellen Mellick with the pull. I know head coach Lisa Stone has really talked about this season wanting to pull quickly. We have the disc centered to Ari Nelson. They're looking for Abby Thorpe. Back to the middle, really good pressure defense from Iwamoto there. But Thorpe on the far sideline puts up a nice looking hook to Abby Dietrich, and I'm going to call that a goal. Abby Dietrich is a premier deep receiver, and again, I think San Diego there is coming down in a designed look on defense, trying to surround the vertical stack and take away dangerous spaces. The problem with that kind of look is that you might end up with that exact mismatch. That's one of San Diego's captains, Amanda Rutland, an amazing player, but if you were a coach drawing up that point, not who you would put on Aubrey Dietrich, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the height mismatch can lead to those types of plays happening.
So we get a look here at a Colorado D-line. It is 3-2, San Diego. That's Amy Halverson with the pull. Fielded by Yu Ishii up to Avery Jones. And it looks like Colorado has come down in some kind of junky look here. Getting some traffic in the lanes in front of the handlers. And at times last week, San Diego did kind of struggle with the junk from Seattle, so I think that's a good coaching idea to show that look and see how San Diego can work against it. A beautiful break, inside break from Kayla Houghton to get it off the sideline.
Yeah, again, San Diego using the width of the field really well here. Colorado back in a person defense.
And that was a great idea by Stambaugh to try to do what Kayla Houghton did and get a beautiful inside break off, but just a little bit out of reach. Disc over to Colorado. Halverson picking up to Dietrich. And Alicia Dixon is pretty open deep. Let's see if they're going to look to find her. Yes, that's a great pivot to switch the field, but Avery Jones puts on enough pressure.
It's a beautiful deep look by Blaise Sevier.
It was a beautiful look.
Another new rookie for Colorado Alpenglow.
An immediate hook from Houghton to Ella Mellick. Beautiful skying grab. And continues to Meredith Bile. Can she track it down? Yes, she can.
That was amazing. Amazing offensive flow there from San Diego Super Blue.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that might be a case of just a little rust from Alicia Dixon. This is her first game of the season, coming back from, I believe, a COVID scare. Wasn't rostered week 1, is rostered this week. Fantastic player, but probably the first touch of the season for her. So I'm sure working through some nerves. You've played in these games before. Can you talk about that first point?
Yeah, I mean, the nerves definitely get to you. You know, just being in the big stadium, sort of the officialness of it all can be pretty nerve-wracking. I think it's good to use the excitement, though, and you'll really see some amazing plays from a lot of these athletes because, you know, it's just on a bigger stage, and having the opportunity to be on you know, a broadcast and show the world kind of what we're good at is really exciting.
Kayla Helton is ready to pull once again. Fading just out of bounds. We'll get a chance to see here how the San Diego defense is set up. We have a Colorado side stack with 2 players isolated in the lane. Got Maddie Boyd and Sarah Pesh in the hot spaces. Great defense from Kayla Helton there.
San Diego in a person defense, forcing flick. Oh, huge block by Kristen Pajunas.
A beautiful D from Pajunas.
One of the most amazing defensive specialists on San Diego. Showing her stuff.
I think she was probably disappointed to only get 2 blocks last week. That's below her standard. Schultz just rushing that throw a little bit on the end zone line. Unfortunate, just back to Colorado.
Huge block by Nenek. A deep look. No one there.
Just not quite enough air there from Maddie Boyd. You know, it can be an adjustment coming from altitude to figure out how to shape those hucks with just a short couple of hours to warm up before a game. But that's good to see from Colorado, that they didn't just fold there after that turnover. There was some amazing individual defense being played, but they stayed on that point, got the disc back. And now Iwamoto lofts it up to Schultz. Can she atone?
Oh, Ito in the area.
Yes, she can.
Jory Moore with the score.
And Schultz 2 more. And that is Moore's first goal of the season. We're excited to see that for them. And great redemption there from Schultz, who says, okay, I made a little mistake, but don't worry, I'm an amazing player. I'm going to get that disc right back.
It's really exciting to see some of these younger players on Super Bloom. Schultz, you know, one player, as well as Danica Hallen, another player, both from San Diego UCSD's programs, really here to make a mark on this Super Bloom team. It's exciting to have some younger players.
Yeah, there are amazing players on this roster from all over the country, but one thing that is so cool about Super Bloom is to see these different generations of UCSD women matching players getting to play together who maybe didn't get to play together in their 4 years of college and now are on this team. And one of those players with the pole right now, Ava Hanna. And we have Ari Nelson picking up the disc, and that is the horn for the end of the quarter, which means that Colorado will play out this possession. So it will either end in a Colorado score or a turnover. If it's a turnover, Super Bloom does not have the opportunity to go the other way. So Colorado really needs to punch this in. These end of quarter situations are huge in these games. So we have Nelson with the disc and a hammer to Dietrich.
Oh, wow.
And Helton was close, but that is an audacious shot, and that is what Nelson is known for. They love to play a fiery game and take chances, and that one pays off. That was a great look.
I'm excited to see some creative throws here. The weather's pretty good, not too much wind out here in San Diego. We're known for our good weather, thankfully. So yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing some more creative throws like this throughout the game.
Yeah, as a coach, I love a player who throws the hammer. I know it's a source of contention amongst coaches at all levels, but you got to take those shots because it really helps keep the defense honest. If teams are refusing to throw that hammer over the top, it means you can just let those players go to that corner. You don't have to be anywhere near them. And now Helton has that in the back of her mind. Oh, if Dietrich or whoever is going to drift to that corner, I have to stay close. And that keeps the defense honest.
There's the view of the Poppy Posse down below. San Diego Superbooms fan club with their poppy-covered hats.
Yeah, huge shout out to this crowd. We were hoping for a more beautiful day for opening day, but credit to them for braving the flash floods and making it to our first home game of the season.
Fun fact about one of the players on the team, Kelly Uemoto, is that she is the person who had made the flower mascot, Poppy. Maybe you'll see Poppy around later on the live stream, but you know, multi-talented player can do fly on the field and also sew a awesome mascot for the team.
Yeah, the children and the adults love Poppy, and Kelly did a great job making our wonderful mascot here on Super Bloom. So the score is 5-3 San Diego. To my mind, it feels like San Diego's in control, but Colorado is definitely still in this game. They're still fighting. What did you see out there in that first quarter?
You know, I think I did see a good amount of turns from both sides, you know, and I think when that happens, it's a matter of the other team pushing to value those chances. I think whoever's going to win this game is really going to be better at decision making and throwing the right shots. So I'm excited to see what happens.
So Colorado will be pulling to start the second quarter. Rory Veldman will be on the pole. We've got a pretty stacked looking D-line out there. I see McKee, I see Dixon, I see Dietrich on that line. So Colorado's going to come out and try to get a break. It'll be interesting to see here if they come down in person or try that junk look again, which did generate a turn for them in the first quarter.
Looks like San Diego's coming out in a horizontal stack.
Up to Iwamoto from Ellis. Slashing across is Elamelik. A good poach took away the initial look, but she still gets the disc. Back to Iwamoto.
Schultz going deep. Creating a lot of space for the undercut there.
Helton on the sideline. Back to Abrams. Up to Ellis, who shoots deep. Here we have this matchup again. Can Elamelik get there?
Oh my gosh.
Not quite this time. That is definitely the deep look you want to see, but that's a tough one to hit. Same third. And even Elamelik isn't that fast this time.
I mean, the closing speed on that was just so impressive. I really thought she was going to get there, but just a little more finesse needed on that look.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, you wouldn't think her game could get even better, but Elamelik is notably faster this season than she has been in the past. So she's been putting in the work. Dixon fell down, but is okay.
Oh, great block.
But
great heads-up block.
A heads-up post block from Iwamoto. And Helton shooting deep to Iwamoto. Can she read it?
Whoa!
Yes, she can.
Bookends for Iwamoto. Love to see it.
Love to see the bookends, and that is just a fantastic break side blade. Helton says, okay, you want to throw hammers to that side? Fine, I'll throw blades over there. So Colorado generates the turn. That's what you want to see from your D-line coming out of the corner. But they can't punch it in, unfortunately, and San Diego remains in control.
Yeah, I think San Diego does have a calmness about their play, and they look like they're really confident coming into this game. But from Colorado, they're a really athletic group of teammates, and I just want to see them push a little bit harder and generate those turns through just more athletic plays.
Yeah, I expect to see it. No team in the WUL is ever going to be perfect. We haven't mentioned it thus far, but most viewers will know the stall count is 7 seconds in the WUL, and that means you just have to make really quick decisions, which leads to exciting ultimate and not always the most perfect offense.
Oh, lots of deep looks coming out.
Colorado up to McLaughlin. Nice way to work it across the field. Back to Kleinkopf. Mimic back to Kleinkopf again. Those two playing catch. Up to Boyd. Kleinkopf in the middle. And we're just seeing these handlers dominate right now. McLaughlin gets in the mix. And Kleinkopf, looking for the return to McLaughlin. You could see exactly the idea there, but unfortunately McLaughlin just stumbles as she's backpedaling. Wasn't quite ready for that throw to go up. And it is a turnover. Credit San Diego for putting pressure there, but I do think that throw was open. Ava Hanna in the middle of the field. Continues. And there you go. That is the kind of athletic play we're talking about from Mimic there. But it did appear there might have been some contact, so Stamba is calling a foul. We'll get the observers in. Let's see on the replay here if we can see if there was contact. That's a tough one. This is definitely a foul where you can see both sides.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to go to the observers here and make a ruling. Okay, observers saying not a foul. So that will result in turnover, Colorado's desk.
Yeah, that's a really close bang-bang play. I'm sure that Stamba felt that contact, but it was sort of occurring mostly on the disc before she had control of it. So no foul is ruled. Immediate pickup and shot to the end zone. I believe that's Sarah Levin with her first goal of the game, and that's a hold for Colorado. That's what they need to stay within 2 to keep momentum in their corner at least a little bit and see if they can't get some breaks here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how their what defensive look they throw out. We're almost halfway through the second quarter, so they're going to have to start making up some ground here. They're down a few points, and I think this could be the train they need to get that going.
Yeah, it's a very interesting flow of game experience in the WUL. These games both feel as if they last for a very long time as a player because the field is so long. It's 120 yards, so you're just doing a lot of running. And also, things move really fast. We're halfway through the second quarter almost. So you don't have a lot of time to reset and think about things. It's just kind of point after point after point.
Yeah, I think time management is everything in this game, and that's not always what you're thinking about when you're playing regular USAU rule sets.
That pull just landing in bounds from Veldman. And it does feel to me, Neha, like the wind is picking up and sort of blowing towards us here in the booth. So we'll see if that affects things. Colorado is coming out in a zone.
Yeah, makes sense.
Looks like we have kind of a junky 2-3-2 look.
Tyler.
Super Boom crashing through that cup with Yuamoto and Ellis.
Got it.
That's a great small ball movement.
Yeah,
now to
really
Abrams.
fast movements from Super Boom's handlers.
I don't have a women in computer.
And Ellie Mellick with a big huck, but Veldman has that under control all day.
Wow. Veldman's such a huge player. I just really like to see how athletic she is, and she had some really awesome blocks against Arizona last week, and
yeah, and all of last season.
And all of last season, just a really commanding force on the field. Yeah, I mean, I'd be nervous to throw a deep shot with her in that deep space.
Yeah, I think you see Jessica Wan going deep, and you want to put it. She's so speedy, but probably not against that height. It has to be sort of a perfect throw to win that matchup. Now Veldman with the disc here. Great defense from Yuamoto, and it appears to me that we have a timeout, which I think is the right call from the coaching staff, despite that nice catch by Thorpe. That was some awesome shutdown D in the handler space, and I do think if you're the coaching staff there, you want to take that timeout. These break opportunities are at too much of a premium to sort of let a speculative huck be your only look there.
Definitely. So timeout Colorado. Let's see what kind of adjustments they make to the line. So a reminder to everyone watching at home, WUL permits when timeouts are called that players get switched out. So we'll see if the coaching staff makes any adjustments.
Yeah, those substitutions during timeouts are one of the key sort of spaces for innovation in the league and in Pro Ultimate in general. And it'll be interesting to see for San Diego how many of those players remain. I'm sure they're going to sub in some defensive monsters like Pajunas and Helton. And one thing I wanted to ask about in general, Neha, is to talk about what it's like to play with these World Games caliber players. So there are 3 of them on Super Bloom who have been selected to Team USA both in the past and this upcoming WUCC cycle. That's Helton, Pajunas, and Elamelic. And how does it sort of change how you approach the game or how you feel as a teammate when you know you can just rely on these incredible players?
I think it's truly is an honor to be able to play with such a high caliber athletes. One of the awesome things about playing with these folks is that they've also received various styles of coaching and have so many different experiences than someone like me who's only played on a few different teams in my experience. So for us, it's just really exciting to get that exposure to these awesome athletes.
And that is an easy design play from Colorado. So you asked for it. What adjustments are they going to make? Well, they're going to run a classic zipper play. So they just split the back of the stack. One person goes to the open side, one person goes break. And Veldman heads deep there, and just immediate shot from Ari Nelson and continue to Sarah Levin in the end zone. So that's a nice design play from Colorado to take advantage of that break opportunity. Let's take a look at this replay here. So there's that zipper, Feldman all alone, and an easy continue to Kleinkopf. And that's just a tough position to be in if you're Pajunas there. There's really no way you can guard both those players at once. And I think smartly what the coaching staff from Colorado saw is that, as I said earlier, San Diego is trying to help as much as possible on defense. And they really took advantage of it with that zipper where the help defender goes with a player, but it means then you can just split someone deep. All right, we have Ava Hanna with the disc here. And there you go, a nice
block by McKee.
A nice block for McKee, and Colorado has a chance to tie the game here. Dixon with the disc. That's Bassett Carmen just outside the end zone. And
Foul
McIntyre with the D, but we're sure that's going to be a foul call. A lot of contact there. I think that's another tough one rules-wise. There's definitely a lot of contact. And it'll be interesting to see if McIntyre contests or says it was kind of a bang-bang play.
Looks like they went to the observers. Observers ruled that it was a foul.
I think McIntyre just no contested there. Either way, she's on the mark now, just outside the end zone. Good decision to swing to the middle here. And then a nice inside to Daniels. So we're all tied up here. There you go. That's what you wanted. Neha, you were saying you wanted to see Colorado make some athletic plays, get back in this game.
Absolutely.
That's what we got. All right, so on the flip side then, if you are San Diego now, what are you thinking about on this line, or what do you think the coaches are saying? You were sort of cruising. It seemed like you're in control. You're up a couple breaks. All of a sudden, game's tied.
Yeah. I think that's a challenge for a lot of teams is, when they have a lead and then that lead closes up is making sure that, if you're tied up again after losing a lead, that you don't take your foot off the gas pedal. I think what we'll see from San Diego is a lot of pressure on defense, but for offense, just relying on the systems and probably playing some clean handler movements.
Yeah. Well, this is a really strong-looking line from San Diego. It looks like Colorado is back in their zone. Ellis and Iwamoto working the disc here. Abrams getting involved. And again, San Diego is going through the cup rather than around it at this point. And still, just looking to punch through that cup up to Pajunas.
It does feel like the wind has died down significantly.
Yeah, a nice continue to Juan. Resets to Pajunas. And Colorado has melted into person here. There's still a bit of a sag in the lane, but they are in person. Beautiful around throw from Ellis to Iwamoto. Kayla Helton's defender momentarily fell down. Unclear if there's going to be a call. think there was some discussion about whether Helton stepped on her foot in making that cut, but it is waved away. She's not going to make the call. And Helton flips it to Pajunas. Again, another risky one with Thorpe in the area, but you do trust Pajunas as a receiver there.
Yeah. San Diego's super clinical with their offensive flow there. It's just a good, clean hold from San Diego.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we were talking about the UCSD influence on this team. You know, we don't want to belittle the contributions of all of the other amazing players, but one thing where that is incredibly evident on this team through the years is that handler-driven style of zone offense. The core of that UCSD system that won a national championship a few years ago is just so good at crashing through the cup and dinking and dunking those small spaces. So here we see a replay, Helton to Pajunas. And yeah, I even take back. I don't know if it was risky. Thorpe kind of had no shot there to the break side. All right, pull is up. Pesh picks up to Nelson on the sideline, and they put it deep.
Wow.
To Sarah Levin. Is that Levin's third goal of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nelson, it continues to take those shots. They are doing a great job, and Levin continues to score goals. That looked really easy.
Yeah, I just felt like, you know, the San Diego defense was sort of caught on their heels with that one. It felt like in a couple throws, all of a sudden Colorado had just gotten to the end zone.
Yeah, I don't want to do too much boost coaching here, but it sort of seems to me like the poachy help defense that San Diego wants to be playing has not been effective so far. And that's not to say that it won't be effective later in the game or that there aren't going to be moments where it works out for them. But here you can see that Nelson was just wide open. There was a poach in the middle of the lane, but you know, no pressure. So easy power position look for her. And the deep defenders were both playing under, so there's just an easy over-the-top shot there. So we'll see if San Diego can adjust and get some more defensive pressure. But now they are on offense. Iwamoto to pick up on the near sideline.
Nice roller pull.
Yeah, way to get down there and put the mark on. Trapped in the sideline, stall count getting very high. Has to put something up.
Oh.
And a great possession-saving grab from Schiltz there under a lot of pressure.
Tons of traffic there.
Now Abrams on the sideline, and she is going to put that for sure.
Oh my
but
goodness
great
gracious.
Positioning.
Huge
Great
grab.
positioning from Blaise Sevier, who is a wonderful pickup for Colorado, an amazing player from the DC area. Halverson saves possession there. It's a nice layout on the sideline.
Great around throw.
Back to Sevier. And again up to Sevier.
Oh, wow.
Just really dominating this point so far.
She's working it up.
And we hear another timeout call. We think. Okay. There was a bit of confusion on the field, but yes, that was another timeout call. And again, I think that's, you know, a good strategy from Colorado there. Use them or lose them.
Yep.
We got about 3 minutes left in this half, and they decided, hey, you know, our last timeout with a drawn-up play, easy two-pass score. Let's see if we can do it again.
Yeah. I mean, this is a huge opportunity for Colorado to really shift the momentum of the game. You know, they've been behind pretty much this entire game, I think, and, you know, now they have an opportunity for them to take the lead. So it makes sense for the coaches to really think about what kind of offensive tactics they want to and players they want to put back on the field.
Yeah, and talking to the coaches of Colorado, you know, one thing I'm curious about, it looks like that's Joe Durst in the huddle. I don't know if you got a chance to talk with them much about sort of how they're splitting up their duties. So on Super Bloom, we have Carlo Mosca as sort of an offensive specialist, and Amy Schlabach as a defensive specialist, and then Alicia's running the whole show. Do you know if there's something similar going on for Colorado where Schlosser's the head coach and things are split up in that way?
You know, it seems like Schlosser is who I was able to speak to at the beginning of the game, and it seems like she was sort of the head for strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I think there wasn't a specific reference on roles for the assistant coaches, but I imagine that Colorado does a lot of collaboration from the coaching staff, and You know, as a new team, I'm sure they have a lot of systems and growing that they're doing together. So, yeah.
Oh,
so
Yuishi's
close.
so close to that D. See, now that was a poach that almost worked out, but let's see if they can now get back into person defense here. Thorpe with the disc. That Thorpe-Helton matchup is a great matchup to watch.
Dixon capitalizing on how open she was.
Colorado moving very quickly, but Super Bloom keeping them contained. Iwamoto on the mark. Up to Veldman. Veldman with a nice looking shot to the back of the end zone to Thorpe.
That was so perfect. That positioning of that throw was just perfectly at the back of the end zone. I thought it was maybe going to go out, but Thorpe was able to just toe it right in bounds and catch it for the score.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot shape and shot selection there from that forced sideline to just throw that flick, fading just a couple yards to the break side. All it has to do is get over Helton's head. You're in a really tough spot as a defender there if you're Helton. You want to protect that front cone at all costs and be close enough to make sure something can't fade to the back cone. But if something fades just enough to the break side, we're going to see it here. Helton is just off her player by 1 yard too many that can get over her head before she can react to it. So that's a great shot to the middle there to Thorpe. With the heart fingers, we love to see that. And we got ourselves a game.
This is really exciting.
Veldman with the pull, and Alpenglow is looking for another break. They are now leading 8-7. So again, let's see how Super Bloom responds. Centering up to Ava Hanna.
Another sag looks like from Colorado.
McIntyre with the disc to Jones to Hanna. Again, just chiseling through the cup here. Now we're using more of the width. And Jones putting it up deep. We have Elemelik versus Veldman.
Oh, wow.
It looks like Veldman came down a little funny on her ankle there. Hopefully she's okay. And Elemelik felt that pressure. She just went up a little early there. Feeling Veldman on the backside, knowing that's a great defender. I have to get up and make this play. And Super Bloom turns over the disc.
Yeah, I mean, we see once again Colorado's zone look really flustering Super Bloom. Felt like, you know, that deep look was a double coverage and went up, and I think we have good chances with Elemelik, but Colorado really capitalizing on having two players back there and putting the pressure on.
Yeah, and so we have Nelson to pick up the disc here. Looking to queue up an immediate deep shot for Thorpe, but not taken. Instead, we have Beetle Moorcroft. Up to McLaughlin, back to Nelson. And now shooting it deep to Aubrey Dietrich, who was very deep, but makes that play against Elemelik. A great read. Back to Dietrich. Bailey Shigley now with the disc, recent superstar product from University of Colorado. And Meredith Biles sneaks in a hand there against Thorpe, but we're going to see a foul call. It is contested. This is another interesting one where there's definitely contact there, but I think Bile has a very good case to say, you know, I think I got there first. And it looks like Bile is going to the observer, so we're going to get a ruling here. And the ruling is no foul.
All right, Super Bloom with another chance.
Jones picking up. Held and isolated in the lane, but
Oh my gosh.
We
One
told
for
you
one.
Thorpe was going to get
One
one.
for one.
Yeah, and she gets Meredith Bile right back.
Another
and Nelson
hammer.
with another hammer to a wide open Aubrey Dietrich.
Oh, it's almost like we've seen that before.
It's almost like we've seen these plays before. And Colorado leads 9-7. And Thorpe is pumped up, rightfully so. Okay, so I want to ask you a couple questions here. We're seeing, I think, both the blessings and curses of San Diego running this sort of rotational system where there's not one set O line, one set D line. There's 3 sort of clear lines with a couple players like Helton and Pajunas crossing over to multiple lines. What we're seeing is on turns, that means there's great defenders out there who are able to play. But do you think there's any danger here in a situation like this of not kind of having the rhythm that you need to punch in O-line holds?
That's a good question. I think, you know, the strategy of having your top players out on as much as you can has worked well for San Diego in the past. The thing with Colorado, though, is they're, I think, strategizing well and focusing on shutting those players down. So that's stifling a lot of the, you know, regular plays that San Diego would be looking to make and kind of slowing down their offense a little bit.
Yeah, Thorpe with a nice roller pull. Goes out. The clock continues to run. We are under 1 minute now. We're just at 1 minute. McIntyre in the middle of the field, and San Diego really needs to punch in this hold with a minute left in the quarter. Schiltz shooting deep to Abrams. Can she get there?
Oh!
Yes, she can.
Huge layup grab.
Be nasty. We love to see that. Abrams, I think, one of the most underrated players on this roster, has just performed so solidly in all 3 seasons for Super Bloom, and is doing it on all sides of the disc. Great thrower, and right there you saw her athleticism.
I mean, she really is consistent, and it was in such a important point for the team, I think, showing how important she is for the offensive line.
Yeah, so we're going to see a replay of that beautiful huck from Schiltz here. Schiltz herself is an Ulti-World Throw of the Year winner, so we know she's got those in her bag. And just great tracking the disc. And a lot of joy from Deanna Abrams. And Super Bloom needs that fire. They got to get back to being in control of this game if they can. They've got 55 seconds here to try to get a D before the half ends and see if they can punch one in and go in level. Colorado's just going to try to maintain. Nope.
Huge heads-up block.
There you go. So there's the poach. San Diego's been looking for that all night, and they've run into some trouble with that poachy scheme, but there it pays off. That's why you stick with it if you're Coach Stune, because you know you're going to get those opportunities. Great grab from Pajunas there on the near sideline. Back to Helton. Could have been either person's disc, but Pajunas grabs it in front of Ellie Melik. Centers to Iwamoto. Danica Hallen with a nice easy under. To Iwamoto. If Super Bloom possesses for 1 more second, there it is. Time has expired, so again, now they just need to punch this in. Colorado can't score. Super Bloom can either score or turn it over. Only 2 options. There you go. Pajunas to Helton.
So we are tied back up, Henry.
This is fantastic. This is exactly what we wanted to see. I think Super Bloom comes into this week on a bit of a high, right? Getting this monkey off their back, beating Seattle in the regular season. We did it way back when in the Winter Cup in 2021, but in the normal seasons of play, each season has ended with a loss to Seattle in the championship game for Super Bloom. And it, I know, was just a huge emotional catharsis for this team to beat them last weekend. And that presents an interesting challenge as a coach, right? Like, Super Bloom is going to be coming into this game very loose. It feels like we know how good we are. We're in control of the season. And that's great. You want your players to have that attitude. There's that great poach block from Kayla Helton. But it also can lead to this lapse of mental focus. So I think it is awesome that we see Colorado coming here to fight, going down early, but punching back, getting back in the game, taking a lead, and then we see Super Bloom responding and saying, okay, you punched us, we woke up, we're here to play too, and we're all tied. This is a fantastic game. Let's see what the second half has in store.
We believe that women and non-binary athletes deserve to be seen and our abilities showcased for the world to see.
We believe in perpetuating Ultimate by establishing professional teams and developing future generations of players.
We believe players of all identities and backgrounds deserve an equal opportunity to be recognized and lauded for our achievements in our sport.
We believe in sustainably and responsibly creating equitable and accessible avenues for women and non-binary athletes to join and participate in our sport.
We believe that being transparent,
open,
and responsive to criticism is critical,
and that there should always be space
To fix our mistakes,
grow,
and be better.
We are the Western Ultimate League.
San Diego, Colorado, San Diego, Colorado.
Welcome back to this exciting game between Colorado Alpenglow and the hometown San Diego Super Bloom. It is tied 9-9. We saw an up and down first couple quarters there. San Diego looked completely in control. All of a sudden, Colorado flipped the script. And we're going to take a look at the rosters here, which we didn't get a chance to do at the beginning of the game. San Diego fielding just about as strong a team as they possibly can. A couple notable players missing. Alex Diaz not rostered for this particular game, but you know, mostly everyone they would want to have here. And we've seen a lot of these players, Iwamoto, Jones, Alamelik, Helton, have huge first half. On the Colorado side, Neha, who stood out to you?
I mean, I just have to say number 99, Rory Veldman, is really just a commanding force on the field. Akane Kleinkopf is also just really has a really strong hold on the Colorado handler movement, and I think she's going to be another strong player to watch the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I mentioned, I was very impressed with some of the shots that Ari Nelson was taking. They were really, picking their spots to take big shots downfield, and it was paying off a lot of the time. So we are back. We're ready to go. Kayla Helton with the first pull of the second half. Beautiful pull, getting just past the 40-yard line. Halverson picking up. Kleinkopf dealing there to Daniels. Back to Kleinkopf, going every other. Sarah Pesh with the disc.
Again with the deep look from Colorado.
Maddie Boyd with the nice shot there to Sarah Levin, who just cannot be contained.
I mean, that's impressive. The positioning of Colorado's deep shots have just been pretty immaculate this game. I mean, they've had such success finding the receiver with the right shape of the disc. I mean, that was just a beautiful OI backhand, landing right perfectly where it needs to go.
Yeah, we can see here that Pajunas is within a couple yards, but as you say, that is just a beautiful shape over her head. Not a lot she can do. And I gotta wonder here as a fan, put on my coach/fan hat. This is kind of 2 weeks in a row where Super Bloom has been very committed to playing underneath defense and letting these deep shots go up. And I think they're gonna live with that. That's not a criticism of the coaching. I think that's what they want, is for teams to take those shots and just know that they're gonna hit sometimes, but Pajunas is gonna get those Ds eventually and at often enough of a rate that it's worth it. But if Colorado continues to show that they can just hit them again and again to people like Levin and Veldman and Thorpe and Dietrich, I do wonder if they're going to have to change that at some point in this game. Meanwhile, we have Colorado coming down in a zone. Ellis, Abrams, and Iwamoto back.
Let's see if they're able to figure out the system needed to break through the Colorado zone. It's been just giving a lot of trouble during the first half.
Yeah, we're not seeing as much chiseling through the cup this time, more working it back and forth across the field. And Colorado has melted into person. We have Savinsky with the disc, back to Ellis. Alamelik looking for a deep shot here. It's not there. Back to Ellis. Back to Dina. To the far side with Abrams.
Savinsky with the disc again.
Nice cut from Ellis there. We love to see that. Lefty backhand cut. Beautiful around to Alamelik. Ellis and Alamelik playing catch here. And
just
Not
at the
quite
end
in.
zone line. I thought that was in.
Me too, but
There we
Abrams
go.
with the lefty backhand to Iwamoto. She says, hey, I played at Stanford, but I can throw the UCSB throw too. No problem.
Yeah, I mean, again, San Diego, it's good to see them kind of working through this Colorado zone offense that was giving them trouble earlier. I think they did a good job of finding a different route, not exactly like you were saying, cutting through the cup and really trying to make them move and go around, throw the more difficult rounds. But these handlers have those skills, so lots of success there.
Yeah. And one thing that's making this such a fantastic matchup for me is that both teams are really comparable athletically. So I think there are a lot of games where you look at San Diego's top 7 and some teams just kind of can't hang with that. And, you know, as we go down the depth, of course, there might be more comparable matchups, and there's been close games every season, but often the sort of top-end athleticism of San Diego just kind of blows teams away. Not so with Colorado here. They are hanging with those athletes, and that is making this really exciting to watch.
Absolutely. Looks like huge deep look with Ito. Oh, just couldn't make it.
Kleinkoff there looking for Ito, and that's exactly what I was just talking about. You know, San Diego is going to live with that deep shot. Pajunas on Ito in the deep space there, and that one's too deep. So you sort of got to pick your poison as a coach, and clearly that's what San Diego wants, and it pays off this time. Ava Hanna picks up and moves it immediately to Helton, to Pajunas on the far sideline, up to McIntyre, up to Hanna.
Great grab from Hanna there.
And we've been on this trap sideline pretty much the whole point, and a travel was called. Not sure I saw too much of a travel, but some discussion happening. Either way, let's see if Hanna can get it off this sideline. No, we're going to stay there.
Jam it up the jam hole, as
There
we
we
say.
go. Oh, Lexa Stamba, that is a fantastic catch. Speaking of athletes. And the San Diego coaching staff is trying to take it away from her. It's unclear if that timeout went off before the throw or if it was after it. It looks like it's staying where Stamba caught it, so there you go.
Take that
She
stat.
does get credit for that amazing layout grab. So Neha, tell us a little bit about Stamba as a teammate. She was elected a captain this season for the first time. What's it like to play with her?
Stamba's a really versatile player. I think she's really fast, and it's awesome. She's had some really clutch layout blocks many games that I've been with her.
Oh,
But-
that is a thing of
Oh,
beauty.
wow.
That is just,
I mean, just that full extension, that body.
yeah, textbook form, full horizontal. You love to see that. So, okay, now we're getting a chance for Coach Mosca to draw up a designed play here to sub in exactly who they want on this line. It looks like pretty much the same line. Ellis and Schultz have subbed in. So a couple of the more defensive-minded specialists like Stamba and Merritt have subbed out. But a lot of this flex line is the same. And, you know, we've got about 20 yards to go here. Let's see what San Diego can draw up. And on the other side, let's see how Colorado deals with their first set play of the game here. What kind of defense they come out in. Looks like pretty pure person. Iwamoto with that beautiful lefty backhand to space that she is known for. That is her trademark throw. Back to Iwamoto. Tina with a ridiculous snag, but just throws it a little over the head of McIntyre. McIntyre has hops, but couldn't quite get to that one. Nelson breaking it all the way around to Thorpe on the near side here. Helton is poaching in this near side lane. A lot of pressure there from Ellis.
There's that deep look.
And Nelson says, I don't care if you bump me. That's fine. I'm just going to throw an immediate huck. Ooh. And McLaughlin there Sneaks it into Thorpe. I think someone may have gotten a hand on it, but there's not a lot you can do there when the whole team is kind of running down at you if you're San Diego. That's a pretty easy score.
I mean, I just love the pace of that. Like, that was just went from such a quick turnover in the red zone for San Diego to a goal for Colorado. And I think, again, Colorado really utilizing those fast breaks when they need to and capitalizing on that.
Yeah, we're going to look at a replay of it here. I mean, you know that Nelson is going to do this. This is what they've made their career on doing, is taking these big speculative shots, and I mean that in the best possible way. Like, they work out more times than not. They know when to throw them. They're very good at that risk-reward calculation, but you got to know if you're San Diego that, you know, Nelson's not going to care about that contact. They're not going to care if there's pressure. You got to actually get the D, or you got to actually put a flat mark on, because they are going to huck the disc. All right, Colorado with a pull.
Another roller.
Got a roller pull here from Halverson, I believe.
She won't hear it.
Iwamoto picks up. Nice through the middle shot there to Elimelech. Back to Ellis. Looks like we have a lot of the same line on. Juan doing some nice cutting in that space. Eventually found. And just didn't see that trailing defender there. I believe that's Caroline McKee with that upline D. Good positioning from her. That can be hard to see as a thrower sometimes.
Some contact there on the...
Yeah, just some unfortunate contact there. That disc, it was pretty unclear which of those two receivers that was intended for. If it was meant to go to Dietrich or if it was for Sevier.
Looks like Sevier's going off for
an
an
so
injury.
Schultz obviously thought she had to get in there and try to make a play, and just a little bit of contact with Sevier. I hope she's okay. Looks like she's shaking it off on the sideline. Nelson subs in though, so this is the thrower Colorado would want with the disc.
Hudson playing some poach defense.
Good, Mark.
Middle.
Up to Dixon here. Nelson going up line into power position. Back to Dixon. Nelson's going to try to get it right back. Can't quite do it. Daniels here with the blade, and
Oh man, just a bobble or something like that.
yeah, just can't quite be reeled in there by McKee. I mean, that's a bit of a tough throw to catch. Don't want to be too critical, but probably an easier throw there could have been made. But just an unfortunate break for Colorado. San Diego back with the disc here. Abrams. Oh, Dixon's so close to getting that D, but Juan
Huge layup.
maintains possession. And we told you Dixon was going to leave her mark on this game eventually. Can't hold her down. Lofted up from Helton, but not a lot of danger to Abrams in the middle of the field here with Elimelech. Surveying, looking for an option. To Iwamoto. Helton's going deep, but Dietrich's right on her. That throw's not going to come.
San Diego sitting up in a vert stack here.
Ellis marshalling from the middle of the field. We got Helton on the break side, and that inside look just not quite there. This is a long point. The longer a point like this goes on, the easier it gets in your mind to not want to throw that step around backhand, and we know Ellis has a beautiful one there. And I think that's the exact case where she just chose that easier feeling inside shot, but it's a harder throw to make. Dixon here to Nelson, and just over her head. Trying to fade it there. Helton with an immediate shot. We got Dixon, we got Elimelech. And Elimelech is making that play every day of the week. Had steps there, has size. That's a beautiful throw from Helton to finish that play.
Yeah, I mean, that's picture perfect. We were saying Colorado has those nice shots, but that's not to say San Diego doesn't either. I mean, you have world-class players like Helton and Elimelech out there showing what they can do.
So we're tied at 11s, and this, to me, really feels like anyone's game.
I agree.
It does not feel like either team is sort of asserting themselves on the field right now. There are particular players on both sides. So Nelson for Colorado, and Levin for Colorado, and on San Diego, of course, Kayla Helton, Iwamoto, some players who are playing excellent games, but overall both teams sort of feel like they're finding opportunities in certain moments and also like not playing maybe their cleanest offense overall, so it's a real toss-up right now.
Absolutely.
San Diego with the pull. Kleinkoff lets it drop. Over to Mimic, to Ito. On that far sideline. Looks like San Diego's forcing backhand, so again, allowing these hucks to go up, and that time that defense works perfectly. Get them to that trap sideline, make that huck look tempting, and make them prove they can execute it. San Diego here in a horizontal stack. We get a classic sweep play to Hallen, up to Pajunas. McIntyre had a lot of steps deep, but chooses the under and takes a bit of a speculative shot to Bile. Bile definitely has steps there, but that's just a really difficult same third throw. Kleinkoff, a bit of a bobble there from Levin, but they keep it in bounds. Pash in the middle of the field with the disc. Nice snag there from Shigley. Pesh again with the disc in the middle. Junis, great defense on an under there, and Hallen on the next cut has to put up that hammer, and it hit their hands, but that was definitely a desperation high stall count look.
Great downfield defense against from San Diego.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really making them force that throw.
Junis wants to huck it here, thinks better of it. Back to Jones in the middle. Ooh, and Hallen under some pressure there. Just feels that person in their space, bobbles the disc.
Oh my goodness.
What a grab.
What a grab.
Mimic.
Right at the doorstep.
Mimic with the disc, looking to score. And a foul.
Foul called.
Couldn't tell if there was just an extreme miscommunication, but looks like a foul was called. Uncontested by Avery Jones. So Mimic with the disc with a fresh 7 seconds. And that is an easy front cone goal from Boyd.
Colorado in the lead with 2.5 minutes left in the quarter.
Yeah, I believe Shigley caught that goal. So some of these new players from Colorado are really showing up big here. All right, so if you're San Diego here, what do you think you're saying to your teammates? You have been able to keep this one goal game back and forth. You're tying it up pretty consistently. You're getting some defensive chances, but you can't quite take control. What are you saying to hype up your team?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like the energy shifted a little bit more towards Colorado here. I think San Diego needs to bring a little bit more energy and movement to their offensive flow. Trying to keep the stack cuts coming frequently for the handlers and making sure that downfield cutters are doing what they need to do in order to get open.
Yeah, Colorado comes down in a bit of a junky look. It's mostly person, but there's a lot of poaching happening in the lanes. Letting at least one handler be free pretty much at all times here. Yeah, it is their 2-3-2 zone. Let's see. Got to take that inside shot, and Yamamoto does. Another one to Elimelech. And this is exactly what you want to see. Just once you get that first look through the cup, keep breaking through it, keep moving downfield. Yamamoto's wide open on the far side if they can find her, or the near side, I should say. Takes that chisel cut. Beautiful continue to Rutland. That is how you draw it up every day of the week. Yamamoto now on the far sideline. A pretty flat mark here. Up to Elimelech. And to Abby Schultz. I gotta say, I was scared about a potential foot block there, but I should have trusted that Dina knows how to punch that in.
Absolutely. One player that I think really shined on this zone look was Iwamoto, and I know she's been talked about quite a lot, but having played with her before, just reminding of how smooth her throws are and how easily she's able to chisel through a zone offense. I mean, it's really impressive to see how well she can just move the disc around and find the open player so easily.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think she gets talked about enough. I think that people rate her really highly, but she is still such an underrated player in my book. Like, it feels to me that every season I see online one new person kind of fully discover how good she is and say, like, wow, is Iwamoto like the best handler in the game? And in my opinion, kind of. Like, she has a unique style that almost no one else plays. She has these patented give-go moves, and it's just so fun to watch. All right, Colorado with the disc here, looking to maintain their lead. Let's see if they can keep playing this steady offense. Or if San Diego...
Backhands. Oh.
And again, they're living and dying by it. The Super Bloom is forcing them to want to take these backhand hucks, and they are hitting on some of them, but not all. So we got another break chance here. Ava Hanna picking up. Not a lot happening for her, but Helton's there. Up to McIntyre. Up to Stambaugh. Again, we are jamming it up this sideline, but if people are open, they're open.
Oh,
that
wow.
is a beautiful shot from Pajunas to Meredith File. Wow. Wow, wow.
Meredith Ball is a huge pickup for San Diego Super Bowl this year.
Absolutely.
Played for Flipside last year, so has a lot of connections with folks like Kayla Helton, Kristen Pajunas, Avery Jones, a lot of those folks who played on Flipside, and you can see those connections out on display.
Yeah, it's been really interesting this season. Obviously, LA Astra is taking a season off, and we really hope and kind of expect that they'll be back next season. That's the goal. But it's meant that a lot of those stars from Astra are distributed around the league now, on Super Bloom and on Arizona, and even a couple here on Colorado. And Bile is one of those players. It's just been so exciting to see her speed on this team. And let me just give one more shout out to Pajunas, who of course gets many, many accolades, but has just improved so much as a thrower the last couple of seasons. That was just a dime of a flick, and you wouldn't have seen that from her, a few years ago. So huge props putting in the work there. Up to Nelson, they find Thorpe, and Thorpe's taken that all the time. But Ella Melick is in the area, and Dina is tall. That is a D. Yeah, that's the shot you want, again, if you're Super Bloom. Ella Melick is giving a couple yards of space there, and obviously Grimes, we've already talked about her being an impact new player. They're a good deep receiver, but it is very hard to sky Dina Ella Melick. Iwamoto with an immediate deep shot. Can Schultz get there? No. Fading out of bounds before Schultz could reach the disc. So Colorado's going to get it right back. And looks like it went out of bounds pretty early, actually. So up at about the 35. Nelson's going to pick up here. Got Ito isolated in the lane. Finds Thorpe on the around. Nice grab from McLaughlin there. Time expires. And there you go. They score the last point of the quarter. That was a nice connection there from Grimes to Thorpe. And Neha, I don't know if I've ever seen this. You can tell me if you have. The teams have successfully scored in the last possession each quarter so far.
I think that's true, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when time elapses, the last possession is able to be completed. And so making sure that you capitalize on that is really important. And these teams have really showcased why they're professionals and being able to score those goals.
Yeah, and it's great to see because coaches for 3 years have been preaching. We see the shot from McLaughlin here. just outside the end zone, but an easy follow up to Thorpe there. Coaches have been preaching for 3 years the importance of scoring these points. And, I didn't mean to make light of it, but we have just not actually seen it that often. Every single team knows the importance of that point, and I think that can lead to getting a little tight. It's just hard to punch them in. But both teams have been super successful at doing it tonight, which is awesome to see, taking advantage of those important moments. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with you soon. We are back, and just off your screen, Poppy has made an appearance. We're panning over to them now. There they are. There's our delightful mascot, Poppy, masterfully sewn by Kelly Iwamoto, as we see some mini disc toss there from the Poppy Posse. Look at those fresh hats, Neha, that the Poppy Posse is rocking.
I mean, I gotta say, those are a very cool addition to the merch tent for San Diego Super Bloom. Very Gen Z fashion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you want to be part of the Poppy Posse, come to our home games, sit in our cheering section. Former head coach Angela Wells will get you hooked up with the chants you need to know, and come be a part of the action here at our next home games. But let's focus on the action in front of us right now. We are tied 13-13 going into this all-important fourth quarter, and you couldn't ask for a better script than that. We're homers. We want Super Bloom to be winning, of course, but from a neutral perspective, this has been a fantastic game. A lot of really clean offense, a lot of interesting coaching strategy. What are you looking for in this fourth quarter?
I really want to see some athletic plays here. I want to see both teams really want this win, and I want to see that in some big, fast plays.
All right, we have the pull going up from Halverson there. Ava Hanna with the disc on this near side. Looking off that initial cut from Ella Melik, and Bile is fast, but Dietrich in great position there. In this league, you just really can't look off that first cut. It's so tough, even for someone like Hannah who has some game experience. She's played a couple games for Super Bloom over the past 2 seasons. She is still relatively new. It's only her 3rd game here in the WUL, and it looks like we have a contested stall, and Observer rules that it was a stall. So again, I think that's just a classic case of, an elite level handler. She is amazing. Just feeling that 7 seconds, it's fast. And you think, okay, I'm going to look off that first cut. There's going to be a second one. And if there's not, then you're just kind of out of luck. Meanwhile, Colorado to pick up, trying to get this first break right out of half. But great defense. Oh, nice scuba to get out of that situation. And that bobble was looking pretty out of bounds to me, but not called. Dixon back to the middle. Oh, Kayla Helton almost making an incredible layout there, an incredible play. But Colorado maintains possession, and they call a timeout with a chance to punch in the disc. And Neha, question for you.
Hit me.
What should we do in a situation like this where the calls have to come from the field? No one on San Diego making that in-out call. The observers there not seeing anything, and possession just stays. I don't want to, give the observers a hard time. I think those plays happen at all levels, and you just got to live with it. But I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I think in all sports we tend to get upset when we see plays that are just missed or fouls that are missed, and I think it's better to just let it go.
Yeah.
It's hard to really harp on that, and I think a lot of coaches will focus on what are your controllables versus what are your uncontrollables, and if observers aren't going to call the in-out accurately, or if they're going to miss an up or down, it's something you can't control as a player, and you just kind of have to move on. Absolutely.
And our observers do a fantastic job overall. Of course, No shade on them. And you're totally right. You just got to refocus here. I don't think it's affecting Superbloom in any way. And let's see if they can hold Colorado here and prevent them from punching this disc in. Nelson picking up. They've been on fire this game. And just 1 yard out here. Can Superbloom have a defensive stand? Let's see. Dixon immediately up line. A lot of traffic there, but eventually swung to the middle of the field.
Sevier with the disc.
Sevier back to Dixon, who lofts up a speculative shot, but no one is there for Superbloom. And Dietrich with the easy clap catch. That is the third goal in that back corner now, where the defense for Superbloom just has really not been there.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to leave Dietrich out in the back like that.
Yeah, and that's at least twice now that she's done that. So I think, again, this will be something in midweek. The coaches and team, I'm sure, will look at that tape and think about, okay, what's happening with our switching that, a player is consistently able to drift to that space and be uncovered. But you got to collect yourself here if you're San Diego and punch in the next hold and keep this game tight. So let's see if we can see what happened here.
I mean, one thing about Dietrich that I think, we can say all day that she's a great deep threat, but she's really smart about where she positions herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially along the width of the field. I mean, she knew that there was no one there and quietly snuck back to that corner.
Yep. And yeah, you see San Diego going all out there, putting pressure along the line of scrimmage right on the front of the end zone there. And, that is the right thing to do in most cases. So it can happen. All right, Iwamoto to pick up the disc. Colorado back in their zone look. Looks like a different look. This is a 3-2-2. So given something a little bit new for San Diego to deal with. But Ellis continues to Helton on this near sideline. Nice throw through that zone to Elimelech. And now we are off to the races with Schultz and Elimelech. McIntyre wide open all the way across the field, but we're going to keep it on the near side here. And just walk it in. That is beautiful, beautiful zone offense. Sure, coaches Stone and Muska love to see that.
It really feels like San Diego's broken through and figured out what they need to do in order to get around Colorado's zone.
Yeah, I think that was a new zone look. It's hard to tell in the moment sometimes, just seeing them live once or twice, but that looked like a slightly different zone from Colorado there, just trying to give a new look, which you want to do. It's the fourth quarter. If you've got something else in your bag to throw at a team, might as well try it. But Superbloom showed that's probably not the zone for us. The other one looked a lot more effective.
Just another great clinical offense from Superbloom, slicing through that zone.
Yeah, and big props there. I said at one point McIntyre was wide open on the wide side. For all you youngsters watching, that's fantastic zone O to... Abrams was wide open there. That's fantastic zone to stretch the field like that. So even if you don't end up getting found, the reason those players were able to move the disc so easily on the near side, as Yuishi gets there for the poach block, is because we're stretching the field. That was just fantastic individual defense. Jones picks up, centers to Pajunas. Some kind of call, maybe a pick. Disc is coming in at 0. Jones with a beautiful around to Elimelech. Has Zettner going deep. Gonna take a shot. Oh, and Zettner just off her fingertips.
Oh, man. That disc curved just so quickly away from Zettner, unfortunately.
Yeah,
unable to reel it in.
It's a beautiful idea from Elimelech. That's just a really hard disc to catch. The spin is going the opposite direction that you're used to there, and it's just so easy for it to bounce off your hands. So close from Superbloom. Nelson to pick up. Boyd taking a shot.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
So close, man.
Bailey Shigley there just tried to catch it one-handed, and that's what happens sometimes. Fantastic player. I'm sure she wants that one back. I'm sure she'll get another shot this game to make a catch. But we see 2 fingertip drops in a row from both teams. Super Bloom back in possession.
Oh,
Ishii up to Pajunas.
Around throw.
Pajunas taking the same look that Alamelik just tried, and once again, it's just a hard huck to connect on. Alamelik marking Nelson. Nelson still gets the huck off to Sevier. And another one off the fingertips. That was a great attempt by Sarah Levin there to score yet another goal. Alamelik up to Pajunas. Someone finally holsters a deep shot on this point. Playing with a little more patience. Zetner back to Pajunas. To Stamba. A lot of contact in the lane there. Nothing called, though, by Hallen. Up to Jones. Now Hallen's going deep. Zetner under. And Zetner up to Alamelik. It works out to Jones for the goal. And you can tell me what you thought about that, Neha. I think that is a case of getting lucky because you did the right thing. No one came to fill there for the dump space for Zetner, so she had to put up a shot that gave a receiver a chance.
Yeah.
And you got 2 good receivers in the area. One of them comes down with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the wind is kind of having something to do with it, where the shots we're expecting are not exactly flying the way that we expected this to. So heads-up plays from Alamelik are really key here.
Yeah, so you can see both dumps clearing out there at the very end of that replay. So Zetner really left with nothing else but to take a shot downfield. Like we said, 7 seconds. If you don't get your first look, and if you don't get your first dump look after that, that's kind of the whole shot clock for you. You get 1 look downfield, you get 1 look at a reset, and then you really have to let the disc go. Pajunas with the pull here. Colorado to receive. San Diego is up 1, 15-14. It's about 6.5 minutes left. And it looks to me like Nelson is pretty much going to play every point here. And why not? Her and Nelson, they and Pesh are moving it back and forth. To McLaughlin. Pesh on the sideline. Nice little bendy around throw to McLaughlin. Bailey Shigley with the disc. Back to Nelson. Really good positioning from Nelson there to make sure she was open. McLaughlin here on this near side, marked by Moore. Running out of options, but that's a great little over-the-top shot. And Nelson throws a big bladey flick, but Pajunas is the only one reading that. There were 2 receivers in the area. Thorpe was one of them. I don't hate that shot, but Pajunas was much more alert to it than either offender. Iwamoto to Pajunas. And Pajunas, that's just what we talked about. It was about to be a stall. In fact, it may have been a stall. We'll see. Unclear if the disc is coming back. We'll find out in a second. But Neha, it seems like that's, a few points in a row now where San Diego has been at least in danger of getting stalled out. So what are you seeing? Do you think Colorado's just playing really good dump defense? Is the sort of flow of that system not happening quickly enough for San Diego? Are you noticing anything here?
Well, I think, the 7 seconds do come fast, and if you look off a first look, if a throw doesn't feel comfortable, that can kind of be a make or break it for whether or not you're going to have to throw a bailout huck. And looks like the disc is going back to where Pajunas' huck landed.
So stall was not upheld. The disc is going to remain where it landed, but Colorado is going to have possession here with another chance to tie this game. And Nelson once again picking up. They have mostly been on fire. Their last huck was not complete, but I believe all of their other hucks have been. looking to get the disc back to Nelson again. McLaughlin does that. Will she take the will they take the shot? Not this time. Up to Thorpe.
It's a backhand force from San Diego here.
Junis really pushing in that lane, and it pays off. That is a coverage sack. Iwamoto puts up a huck to Pajunas. Oh, just enough air under it. Thorpe with the bid. I think a bit of a dangerous bid, but Pajunas is no stranger to contact. I think, you know, they shook that out. Everybody's still friends there.
I mean, what an athletic grab from Pajunas right there. I really thought that was going to float out of the reach of her, but, I mean, she beautifully laid out and grabbed that right when she needed to.
Yeah, and I think you saw there, I've been singing Thorpe's praises all game. If Iwamoto puts more air under this, Thorpe probably gets that D. So maybe looks like, okay, could have made Pajunas' life easier, but in fact, look how close Thorpe is there, and just beautiful athleticism from both players. That is a great grab from Pajunas.
Yeah, that's a game of inches right there.
Elemelik with the pull. And Kleinkopf is going to pick up. Nelson taking a point off. They've really been controlling the game for Colorado. They've been making the hucks happen. They had that one turnover last point, but it'll be interesting to see without them on the field who's going to take over for Colorado at this point. Elemelik there, I believe that's going to be a foul call. We'll see if it's contested. So if you're Colorado here, Neha, do you think you want to keep shooting or not? That's my question for you.
You know, I think it's not about not shooting. It's about shooting when it's the right chance, because their deep looks have been working. Oh, wow. Great heads-up block there from Ava Hanna.
Absolutely, and immediately puts it into play to McIntyre. Elemelik with the disc now. Up to Stamba. Up to Bile. McIntyre is pretty wide open. Not found. Back to Hanna. Wow. To Merritt. That was an incredibly nice inside flick, but can't follow it up with one of her own.
Oh, Dietrich streaking deep.
And eventually going to be found. Got to put it, but it might be too late. Elemelik is there.
Massive D from Elemelik.
Yeah, you can see why Levin put it, but like I said, Elemelik's closing speed is very elite. Meredith Bile now on the far side of the field. Up to Ava Hanna. And Ava Hanna puts up the huge deep shot. Two receivers there. Wow. And Liz Merritt makes the play. That is how you do it. Welcome to the WUL, Liz Merritt. Her first game of the season. Her first touch of the season. Gets that disc right outside the end zone, locks in, says, I want to throw my first assist of the year, throws a turnover, and then how does she back that up? Just goes and skies the pile over Elemelik and Dietrich because, you know, she's got hops.
That is amazing to see. Like, what a heads-up play. I really thought that I was going to stay over both Elemelik and Dietrich's head, but Liz seemed to come out of nowhere. I didn't even know she was streaking that fast up the field.
Yeah, great work from Merritt, and, you know, on the positive side of the stat sheet in her first game, we love to see that. Let's take a look at this replay one more time as San Diego gets ready to pull. Big flick from Hanna, giving her receivers a chance, and Dietrich just kind of gets sandwiched there. It's, you know, that's not a foul. That's perfectly understandable and acceptable contact that both players were creating, but then just has no shot on the backside, and Maris there to clean it up. Looks like Colorado took a timeout, potentially. A little bit of extra time here between these points, and that makes sense. So, you know, I was just asking last point if Colorado should keep shooting. You were saying obviously they should take the right shots at the right moments. But now they are down 3 with not a lot of time left. So
yeah,
what do you do in this situation if you're Colorado?
Well, I really think you've got to run a 2-minute drill. And when
Yeah.
I say that, I mean it's really about converting as fast as you can and making sure that you're not running down the seconds unnecessarily. Said at the beginning, clock management is a really big part of the games in the WUL, and players sometimes may lose track that they need to score a point soon and you know, unintentionally run out the opportunities they have to close a scoring deficit.
Absolutely. So we'll see if Colorado can make quick work of this point. It's looking pretty easy right now. Great layout grab from Thorpe there.
And
back to Nelson in the middle of the field. And now is the time, I think, where you got to take a shot. Stoppage here. But I completely agree with you, Neha. I think that transition to pro, this can be the trickiest part of it. And I have seen both this season and last in the WL, some teams be down a couple and just not look to take shots at the end of games when they really need to. And, you know, it's true that for the tiebreakers, for playoffs at the end of the year, eventually points come into play. But you want to try to win this game. And there you go.
See? I mean, that's impressive.
That is impressive. I don't know if it was the intended receiver, but you got to try to put it in the end zone. Thorpe is there to clean up the mess either way.
Yep.
And that's what you need to do.
Really good job from the Colorado offense to just get that point as fast as they can.
But now only 43 seconds left, so again, I don't want to be too critical, but I kind of think if you're Colorado there, you had to take that shot even earlier in the point. What I was just going to say is there's really not a lot of difference between losing by 3 and losing by 2, right? Like there is going to be a tiebreak at the end of the season, potentially on points if some teams are tied with the same record. But you can't be thinking about that right now. You need to think about, it doesn't matter if we lose by 3 or 2, we need sort of an immediate shot to the end zone so we can try to win this game.
Absolutely.
So what do you think Colorado's going to do here on defense? Will they come back down in the zone?
I don't think so. I think they're going to go person because that'll potentially allow for faster generation of turnover from Super Bloom. I think Super Bloom's really been able to work around the cup.
We get a roller pull. Not sure if it was supposed to go out to trap on the sideline or if it was just a nice roller pull, which it was.
Ooh,
and great
so
pressure
close.
there from Amy Halverson. Almost had that D, but Super Bloom maintains possession. And they can just run out this clock. They don't have to score again. But
oh my
that
gosh.
is a beautiful D from Blaise Sevier, one of the players we highlighted. It does look like Kayla Helton is calling a foul. They're going to talk this over. This is another tough one. There have been, this game I think Neha should be shown as a clinic for players about what is and isn't a foul, because all of these have been really close where I can totally see both perspectives.
Absolutely. Looks like they're going to the observer. All right.
And observer Carlos Ruiz rules that it is a foul. I think that's the right call. I think that it ends up looking really clean because Sevier's in front of Helton, but I think Sevier came through the back of Helton before that D, which is obviously why the foul was called.
Yeah.
And Bloom is just trying to possess and hold the disc here for a couple more seconds.
Final whistle.
And that is it. Super Bloom wins by 2. Neha, that was a fantastic back and forth game.
What an exciting game. I mean, I wonder for folks at home if they were expecting this game to be so close, but I mean, I think we have a new rivalry coming out of this game. What do you think, Henry?
Yeah, absolutely. Personally, I was expecting it to be pretty close. Like I said, the reason I was so excited about this game is that I think Colorado matches up so well athletically with San Diego. They have those fast, big athletes who can hang with our top players. So I think we were hoping it was going to be an exciting, tight game, and we got exactly what we hoped for.
Man, I'm really excited to see what Colorado does the rest of the season because this was just a outstanding first game against Super Bloom, and after coming off an amazing win against Sidewinders, really hopeful for what they're going to show off the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Alpenglow's got to feel pretty good. I know that's a really disappointing close loss, but they're 1-1 on the season now. It's an away game. You just played incredibly close with the #1 team in the league at this moment. So if you're the coaching staff and players of Alpenglow, I think you got to take a lot of positives away from that, showing you can definitely hang with the top teams in this league. you can come back next time and maybe close this one out. We're going to look at a couple top plays of the game. Our Discraft sponsorship, Discraft play of the game. We're going to run that for you in just a minute. On the other side of the disc, though, Super Bloom, Neha, how do you think they're feeling about this victory?
You know, I think they did a really good job keeping the home crowd excited. I mean, we had a lot of back and forths, and you know, Super Bloom was down for a minute. They came back up. You know, I think they like to show off.
So here we have our Discraft play of the game, Iwamoto with this power position, middle of the field shot on a rope to Pajunas. Thorpe so close to getting the D, but Pajunas making that contested grab.
Gosh, I mean, the defense on that was just so close. Credit to Thorpe for really tracking that down, too.
Yeah. And again, credit to both players just showing off the amazing athleticism in this league and the level of pressure and physicality that we want to see from these women, non-binary, and trans athletes who don't mind a little contact as long as it's safe, and just making amazing athletic plays like that all night. We love to see it. So thank you so much, Discraft, for sponsoring it. And we are going to take this opportunity to say goodnight to all of the fans who have watched this game with us. Neha, any final thoughts?
I am stoked for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. For Neha, I'm Henry Argetsinger saying good night from San Diego, and we will see you again real soon, and hope every game is just as exciting as this one.